Hey everyone, thanks for joining me again in the garage. In this video I'm taking on like a Dodge Challenger style muscle car just for a bit of fun. Well, it's always just for a bit of fun. This time I'm working on A4, although I'm meant to sort of keep it to A5 size. I was going to use the perspective lines off to one side and do the drawing over the other side, but I kind of got, as I usually do, I kind of got carried away and ended up nearly filling the page, which made it take quite a bit longer than it normally does to finish the piece, but it was okay in the end. I think I'll try and stick to A5, but this one's on A4. So where are we now? We are just putting in the horizon line, the vanishing point, and the perspective lines. I did make one little error, which I should have spotted earlier on, because that's the whole point of roughing in. I kind of squashed up made the vehicle too long, so it stretched back towards the vanishing point got a bit too close to the vanishing point, but it kind of squashed up the back end a little bit. But I will not make that mistake on the next one. So that's the whole point of doing these videos, is to sort of like critique my own work. Because quite often when you're working on your own stuff, you don't notice until afterwards. And recording myself working and then watching it back is a brilliant way to spot areas where you can improve. So I think for the time being, I've got loads of plans. I've got so many ideas. I want to do a graphic novel. I've got sort of like poster sort of style things, t-shirt designs, and I need to get back to drawing people, because people's like a huge subject, and it's one of my favourite things to draw is people in action. But I think while the channel's quite young and I'm trying to put out consistent content for you lot, I'm going to try and stick to cars for a little while, because what I tend to do is get really ambitious ideas that I can't fulfil, and then I don't post for like a week or two, and I just think, oh, I should have just stuck to like the basic straightforward drawings that I can do every night and post every night, or thereabouts, so you guys have got something to watch, and that's where the improvements come from, is doing it every day. So the graphic novel, the story's kind of the outline, it's not written, but the outline's there, and there's still quite a lot of work to do, but it's difficult to film that. So I think I'm just going to stick to cars just for a little while, build up the content, and then as things progress I can sort of drop back to doing stories and bigger projects. So here we are. I've just roughed in the outline very loosely. I'm just doing the interior. Got the wheels in. And I was working off just a handful of photos off, I think it was on Pinterest for the car, but it's not sort of based on any one photo. It's just a kind of I was grabbing details from different pictures and sort of making up a new thing. And really, when you're drawing cars, if you can't get your own photographs, if you can get a model of the car, because you can rotate it how you want and you can play around with the viewing angle, you've got a bit more control. And I did notice in this video, I work outside, and it's February here in the UK, and it's cold and it's wet, and my hands are really suffering. It's this weird light I've got just to illuminate the side of my hands there. It's really showing the creases, so I might have to get some hand cream. But in a couple of months the weather will change and it'll be they should recover. I'll look a little less like an old man. And I don't know if well, you won't know this because it's such a young channel, but I've kind of settled now on some branded colours, which I'm going to stick to for the rest of the year at least, if not beyond. So you can recognise my thumbnails in amongst all the other things out there, and the text style. I think I'm going to stick with that kind of text style. So it's all kind of a branded visual language. So I've just moved past the point of sort of roughing in, and now I've decided what lines I want to use. I'm committing those. And it is a very different skill drawing on camera. I used to last month, my first few videos, I used to do a warm-up sketch. I was finding that as soon as I hit record, I couldn't draw anymore. It all went wrong, and I was finding that the warm-up sketch that I did without the camera running was better than the one I wanted to do. So it's just an interesting sort of skill to develop, is just drawing live on a camera. So and drawing and recording the voice, everything just stopped because I couldn't focus on any one thing. So I was ended up what I've been doing the last few videos is record the drawing with no sound, and then this is put back on over the top later, which takes a bit of pressure off, so I can get focused on the drawings. So the drawings have got a bit better, but I'm hoping as the weeks and months go by and I keep uploading, I should get a bit more natural at doing this. So it's sort of the first real view of it, kind of looking like the finished product. I'm just figuring out where to put the shadow line. I kind of just produced a point in space to create a light source, and then kind of guesstimated the shadow shape. So I don't really want to be producing like these really sort of technically perfect drawings where everything's scientifically correct. I want it to have like this sort of organic look to it, but I also want it to look realistic, but not to a point where it's like an engineer's diagram. So I'm trying to hit this sort of middle ground between it being a technical drawing but also having sort of some character to it. Yeah, so I'm just trying to work out where the shadow might go. And when I fill in the shadow itself, I use the vanishing point and I sort of kind of stripe the shadow in as if it's come from the vanishing point. It just gives a bit of consistency and grounds the car on the road. And also if the vehicle happens to be in motion, it actually adds to the sense of speed. So I'm just roughing in some guidelines. I'm not going to do all of them in one go. I'll just kind of get a feel for what it's going to look like with some basic lines. As always, you just the same thing. You just start with the basics and build it up. Don't go in with too much detail too early on, because if you do make a mistake or you do want to change something, you are committed and it means rubbing out a lot of work and you waste a lot of time and make a big mess. I'm just going to start putting in the like the drop shadow, like the hard edges that sit underneath the car, to really like give the weight